what would you like me to call you? You may call you Dion. You may call you.
I
Is
go
it
by my name. Obviously, my name is
Jeremy?
Jeremy, but I go by Dion. So yeah,
Okay.
Dion.
All right. Well, you know what? I see. I love your handle though. Dion 5 times. Like I love
Yeah,
it. So everyone, Jeremy Dion is joining us. We actually met on TikTok. This is the first time we're having like a conversation, which we're super excited about. So Dion, why don't you tell everybody who you are, what you do, claim to fame, all that good stuff.
yeah. My name is Jeremy Dion. I go by Dion 5 times. I'm a content director. Been doing this for I can't even tell you how long. About 15 years. And my content is geared towards content creators, right? So my content is based, my my goal is to help content creators. And if you're a content creator and you're trying to, take your content to the next level, I'm your guy. So yeah.
Love that. Yeah, no, I'm always looking at your stuff because your stuff just looks so sharp. It's just like, and I love that you're always giving people insights on, it's like the no BS. I think that's why we probably connect,
Right.
because it's like just straight to it. Like this is what you got to do, and this is how to do it, rather than this whole like build up, which is a kind of a general thing on social now. It's like that hook and drag you along to give you this teeny little bit of information at the very end. So what are your
Man,
thoughts on that in general, actually, while we're...
I I have I can't stand it. It's the they call it the leading was it the leading question method.
Yeah. Yep.
I cannot stand it. I was just talking about that in one of my lives the other day, and the fact that people do that, it's just basically they're giving you a bunch of fluff and they're not
Yeah.
trying to get to the point. And I don't like it.
Exactly.
I just can't
Yeah.
stand it.
Yeah. And they're usually trying to sell something by the end. It's usually listen. And then here's more information if you buy my course or
I
whatever it
mean,
is.
it's the same setup. It's the same setup, right? The setup
Yeah.
is okay. I got this hook, but the hook is, hey, you better watch to the end because you need this, et cetera, et
Yeah.
cetera.
Exactly.
And then next thing you know, they're not even giving you there's no transfer of information.
Exactly.
Then they
Yeah.
go into, hey, get this, and then you can get the information. It's like, why would I get that when you didn't give me any information in the first place?
Exactly. I think it's just such an unsexy way of, just creating content in general. I mean, it's not, a lot of stuff, my stuff is very like how to. A lot of the stuff you're doing is like how to. I know you've started to get a little more into, not really rants, but, telling people what other people are about, which is great. I think that's fantastic. There's a point. It's like adding to the conversation, right?
Right.
But I do think that there is a thing that's happening with social media now where it's people are just, they think that leading is like the way to go about it. And I think people are just kind of sick of it. They're kind of sick of the salesy, and they want information, they want connection, they want community, at least from my perspective.
You're right, Eric. It's what it comes down to is a lot of these people just think about it like it's almost like a sales call, like a
Yeah,
sales pitch. And that's not what we're doing. If you're actually not here to help anyone, what's your point of doing it?
exactly.
You don't have any value in your information, like in your
Yeah.
content.
Yeah.
Why would anybody get anything from you? You're
Yeah.
focusing on the wrong thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, so since we're talking about that, what do you think brands should be doing with content in general? How should we be teaching? How should we be educating? Like, what's the, or does it depend on the type of account you have? What, in your opinion, what should people be doing?
The main thing, I mean, you can't speak for every brand,
Mhm.
but the main thing is just to appeal to your audience. You can't, you're gonna have to, focus on what industry you want to, actually appeal to. First things, that's the first thing. If you don't do that, then you don't know who you're trying to, what you're trying to do in the first place. So you gotta
Yeah.
focus on your niche.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Then also just focus on giving out value in your content. That's the main thing. That's what I tell everyone. You have to give out value in your content. If you're not giving out value in your content, then no one's gonna.
Yep.
I think those are the main things. Find out what niche or industry you're actually trying to target, your target audience that you're trying to actually capture.
Yeah.
And then nurture them, give them information.
Yeah.
And actually give them value in their content.
Yeah.
In your
Yeah.
content. That's it.
Well, what's the point at which they can sell then? Like, what's the point at which you feel comfortable selling, or do you never sell through your content? Like how, that like distinction, right? Where's if we're nurturing all the time? Because I think I get hung up on this too. I nurture, and then I'm like, oh, maybe I should sell you something. But by then it's, do we get caught up in that, or is it just, you're selling on a different platform or whatever?
Yeah, the sale is more so. I mean, you want to have a call to action, but the thing is, the sale is. I think the sale is the transfer of information, right?
Yeah.
So that's how people are going to build a trust, right? So after that, that's when you can get them to another community. You want to build a community first. So once you build a community, that's when you drive the sale.
Yep.
You don't drive the sale just straight into content because you haven't built that. Build the community. basically build the people that actually want to be sold to,
Mm-hmm.
and then sell to them.
Yeah,
Versus
that's true. Yeah.
instead of trying to sell to everyone, that's not even your audience.
Yeah. Build the container for that, audience that's going to be basically raving fans. I think that's why TikTok, though, at least the way I look at TikTok, because it's so, people are very flippant when it comes to content. I don't care I don't care how good you are. Like, people will follow you or follow someone on a whim, right? And it'll be like, oh, I like that one piece of content, and then really that follow is not really, So I think that's where the quantity comes in.
Right.
For me anyways, where it's okay, you have 20,000, 30,000 followers, maybe 22,000, 3,000 of them are people that are actually paying attention, right?
Right. And that's the thing with TikTok, like a platform like that. I look at that like a top funnel, You have to think about, you're gonna get the most engagement on there, right? I mean, not the most. You're gonna get the most eyes on you there.
Visibility,
engagement, right? But from there, that's when you're gonna take it to another community, like maybe a Discord or some other something like that, so you can actually nurture that community. The people that actually, that's when you're gonna target more and go deeper with those people.
Yeah, I agree. I think people too, when they're just creating content, people look at it as like checking a box. Right? Like they're very like, well, I have to do Instagram, and I have to, small businesses, whatever, I have to do Instagram, I have to do TikTok because everybody's on there. But then they're just checking the box, and they're literally they're not in it. So they're missing that, like, the massive benefit of actually doing it, right? Because it's the biggest pain in the ass. Nobody likes doing social media. I don't care if you're a social media manager. Nobody likes it.
No,
it's so annoying. It's time consuming. It's the worst thing. It's so stupid, but it's a necessary evil. That's where we're at now. Like, it's because it's the quantity of it. You have to churn out so much stuff, So I've started to try and make mine just work for me, just me personally. I don't know how do you feel about creating? I mean, your stuff always looks great. You're sharing stuff that you seem passionate about, but I mean, how did you find that niche? Like, how did you decide to get into what you're doing on social, and how are you not like totally hating it? Because you churn out quite a bit too.
I don't. I just started going more crazy on some people because just of the fact I'm like, you know what? Why not? It makes good content. People like it, and on top of it, it's like, why not? Why not? But
exactly.
No, what makes me stay consistent with it is like, this is what I do for a living in the first place. But the thing is just, one of my first videos, it blew up because of, I guess, I like giving out information, right?
Yeah.
I like to tell people stuff and help people overall.
Yes.
Really, that's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
So I show people how to use cinematic mode on their phone.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have DSLR cameras. A lot of people don't have they don't know where to start with content. So I'm like, this is content 101. You have no excuse now. If you have an iPhone, you can do this. And I took it from there, and it was like, I could just show you even more stuff. So that's what it came down to. Hey, if you're a content creator, if you want to, take this to the next level, I'm the guy that, you're going to listen to and be like, you know what? This guy actually knows what he's talking about, and he's not giving me any fluff.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's the point. That's the reason why I started. I mean, like I said, that video blew up. It was like one of my third videos, and it just blew up. But I saw that it was a market for that. I mean, the market was, hey, people don't know how to start with content creation.
They really don't. Let alone making it look good. Really,
too,
I mean, that's really the thing. It's like there really are two components to it. Like you do have to look. At the very least, people will be able to see you. Like the lighting has to be something, but then the hook and the marketing kind of brain on top of it is a whole, it's a whole nother beast. But I love that you came. So I saw some of your other work. Actually, I want to ask this question: how long ago did you really start making content? Because I know you just hit 30,000 followers. So I want to know how long it took you to get to that point.
For TikTok with the short form.
TikTok, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I started my second video. Well, my first video, I don't even know what that was. I ended up deleting that. I don't even know what it was. It was like an AI thing. But I started really in the end of January of this year. It was the last day of January.
Yeah. So sweet. So like 6 months.
Yeah, like 6 months. And I think that first month I hit 10,000. Then. Yeah, from just posting. After that one video blew up, I just kept posting consistent content.
Oh yeah, it gets real addicting. It's like a slot machine over there. You're like,
right, exactly.
That's the thing, yeah.
And I just started. I was targeting the audience. Someone that was in my comments was like, "You should just make content about this." I was like, "Well, this is what I do anyway, so why not?"
Yeah,
so it was
exactly.
easy for me to do. This is what I do for a living.
Yep.
That's the reason why people should make content around stuff that they actually do and that they have knowledge on, versus it being like, oh, you know what, I don't know anything about this, I'm just gonna make content. Or you're just
Yep.
making a bunch of nonsense. If you blow up from it, it's
Yeah.
nothing to, you don't have anything to give any value to anybody. So
Yep.
that was the thing. So once I did that, I just stayed consistent. I've been consistent since then, but from there, I posted once a day, every day for about 4 months.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down to because I was at between 2 and 3 videos for a week for several months. Excuse me, 2 and 3 videos a day, per week.
And you, Eric,
It
so
was
I saw
lot.
your video. I want to say that might have been in March. It might have, I don't know.
Probably.
Might have been March or April. I don't know. When I saw that video, I was like, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's getting straight to the point.
You know
It
what?
was about, which one was it, Eric? Which one was it?
Was it a big one? It might have been creative contracts if it was a bigger one.
Yes, creative
Okay.
contracts. I was like, wow, this guy's great. Instant follow, because I know he knows what he's talking about. And you kind of doubled down on that, and you just kept going. You just straight to it. I'm like, this guy's good. He's really in the field. I understand. I know you really do it. That's the thing. I can tell you really do it.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I think that's looking at it from like a company and an entrepreneur and like a non-creator standpoint, right? Because I think we've bled into the creator category now, where we're like, we've been, whether it's 6 months or a year or whatever it is, like that's a huge focus of what we do now. So we're already in that kind of brain. And companies, entrepreneurs, people that don't do it all the time, right? I think they get caught up in the sharing whenever they think they should be sharing. And I think at least now, the key is the non-gatekeeping. The key is to the point. The key is we're over the sales bullshit. Like viewers, like they can tell, with branding in general, people have a BS meter. I say this all the time. Like people know when you're lying. People know it's like an energy thing. They can just tell. So that's one of my biggest takeaways anymore. Now that I'm doing it a lot, is telling companies to like just cut to the chase, share shit, and and like just get to the point about it. Be value driven. I think people have a hard time with that.
Yeah, that's one of the major things. People are so like, even with content creation in general, they always say this is the setup, the hook, and then you try to do the whatever, and then you do the call to action, and you're just leading whatever. It's like, that's a setup. Yeah, but what are you doing within that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People know, they can detect. They have, like you said, they have a BS meter. We can detect it from a mile away. So why are you trying to do that? Why don't you just tell me, like, give me some value in your content so I can actually, so you can appear as trustworthy, versus it being like, why would I want to get anything from you if I don't know what you're talking about? Like,
exactly.
You're just trying to sell it to me. It's an advertisement. No, I don't want that.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, I think a lot of companies kind of, I don't know. I think companies, like I said, just think it's a box they have to check, and they just disregard everything else. Where I've really just been trying to get my content to work for me. If anything, I said this on a recording I just did recently, where I'm like, mine's very almost narcissistic approach to social media, where I'm very like, I'm doing this for myself. And I'm iterating on it for myself. And like you said, you did one video that somebody told you should be posting more content on, and you followed your audience. You weren't out trying to find the audience. They found you, and I think that's what happens. It's like a culmination of energy and what you like putting out.
Exactly.
And then they find you, because that's what happened. That's the exact thing that happened with me. And if you started in January, I started beginning of February. And my second video blew up. See? And I'm just getting ready to hit 20,000 in 5 months. You're at 30,000 in 6 months. It sounds like we've, kind of the similar journey, very different content, but it's, but I think that, I think that's what people should be focusing on, doing what they want to do. And then the audience finding them instead of this other way around. I think it's just being part of that conversation, like just sharing because you want to.
Man, a lot of people just, they act like people are robots or something, There's a lot of AI stuff out here, but we're not AI, we're still people, people like to build it's all about building relationships overall.
It is.
And actually being, actually being a person, actually having a conversation, talking like a real person, not talking like a sales pitch. That's
the professionalism needs to. People think they have to be professional. I'm like, it's not. Professionalism is not what professionalism used to be.
It definitely is not.
It's not. Like, you're not getting on there insulting people and cussing up a storm. Okay, I'm pretty sure I can consider you some sort of professional. As long as you're not zeroing in on people or whatever, fine. But so I wanted to ask you what you're beyond that, if you see any major no-nos people are doing, like that you just shake your head that you're like, why are you attempting this?
With
Like, why are
content
you doing
overall,
this?
man, oh my God, there's
Well,
so many
companies or
things.
creators or creatives, just across the board, because I know you have opinions.
Oh my gosh, a lot of times, people they get stuck in, there's so many content coaches and people like that, right?
Yeah.
So they get stuck on what one person says, or this person said 7 months ago or 2, 3 months ago. And it's like, that's not, you shouldn't stick to that. I don't like how people just take one person's word as like it's law, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And then you just, even if I say, hey, you should edit like this, that doesn't mean that it should be like, that for you,
Yeah,
for everything. You should take what you take from it and actually, curate it to yourself. That's how I look
exactly.
at it. So
Yeah.
I look at people. A lot of people just do the same thing. They're doing the same thing as everyone else. Like people just, it's like copy and paste. And it's like, what's
Yep.
making you different? What makes you stand out? A lot of things. My main issue with people is that they're not appearing as themselves in their
Yeah.
content.
Yep. That's true. It's
They're,
because the
they're not
goal
doing.
is the goal is likes, the goal is views, and it's not. I feel like when you shift to that goal, when you're not going, I need the metrics, and you're shifting for engagement, like that's my thing. If I've set my bar so low that I'm like, if I hit 1,000 views on a video, great. I don't care. And beyond that, whatever, fantastic. But I want people to be involved. I want 20,000 followers, but I don't want 19,000 of them to be totally vacant and not available for me. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna. So that's my goal, and I feel like a lot of people miss that. They're like, I have to have the numbers, but then it's not translating to the engagement. So it's coming from a place that's not very authentic or legit, or it's for something else.
Exactly. A lot of times people what they fail to realize is, with social media, especially with TikTok, the views are TikTok's job. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
the engagement is our job.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're not curating to your audience, then you're not
Then,
going to get any engagement.
yeah, exactly. I
It's as
agree. I
simple as
think
that.
it's so. I unfortunately, we've gotten so hyped up about numbers and everybody's because we do I still make the comparison. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm still checking other people's profiles going, well, what'd they do? What's wrong with me now? That's still, and in reality, we're just feeding the machine. That's
Right.
what it is. Like it doesn't care.
And that's why the goal is to, transfer that into a community where you can actually nurture it that doesn't have all the ads
Yeah.
and, all of the vanity metrics and all this stuff,
Yep.
that people actually, you take it over there. So people that actually want to get this information and you want to help for real,
Yep.
and they actually want to grow, you help them with that.
Yep.
Like I said, that's why it's a top funnel. You just have to look at it like that. If you look at it from a business perspective, you'll be better off.
For real.
Everyone, and which I know you do too. But I'm just saying, like
Yeah.
overall,
Yeah.
like people don't think about it like that. They think about it like, oh, it's just vanity, it's vanity. Oh, please give me these followers and views. But what if
Yeah.
you get this major video that blows up and you have no way, you don't even know what you're doing. You don't know how to make that convert into anything.
You know what? I did the same. That's what happened to me. I was like, I've been hustling since, trying to get stuff together, because if you're not ready, and I've had, a couple things come up that I didn't realize were going to do anything. That's why I've told people, stop focusing on going viral, because you don't know. The one that went viral for me that really the second video was on, I was complaining about, creatives becoming literally everything, right? If you're a designer, you're a copywriter and a developer and all those things. And it was a 5-second thing, and it was whatever, but people connected with it. And I had no idea, but at that point I was like, oh God, people are complaining, like people resonated. And I was like, well, I got to do something with everybody. So I hurried up and built a Discord. Like I hustle, it's like now that's been the thing. And the same thing with the creative contracts, right? I'm still trying to get that off the
Right.
ground, but like getting creative contracts going. So I think that's a fantastic point, not getting caught with your pants down. Because I know from experience right now, it's a real big pain to be like, I have all this, but you got to strike while the iron's hot. Like you got to be ready, because 600,000 people might have seen your video, but if you don't have any place to go with them, people are so flippant, they forget. They don't do anything. Like wait lists have become my friend, actually. That's one of the big things.
That's amazing.
Because it's a fix for right now. I can say, oh, it's coming, and I can get your email. So that's what it is.
that's the thing, you know, and you're basically setting that up for you to curate to an audience. You know,
Yeah.
that's the thing. You know that you can. That's, I mean, you, like I said, top funnel. You're
Yeah.
funneling these people in. You know,
Yep.
and that's how you ultimately going to convert. But most people don't do that. They don't even have any of that set up. They're just looking at it like, oh, I saw somebody the other day. They got like 1 million views on a video, and then they didn't follow up with any of the stuff. They didn't know what to do. It was like a music thing. They didn't have
Yeah.
anything set up for it. I'm just like, you can't do that. You have to double down and actually have stuff ready.
Yeah.
Because if not, you're just
Yeah.
gonna miss it. The
Yeah.
quickest, as fast as that moment came, it's gonna go away as fast.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you either have to, you have to be like ready with it. That's why I think that Vic's probably right now, at least for me, it ended up being waitlist, which anybody listening to this, if you get caught in this situation, because it happens so fast and stuff going viral is honestly is the biggest pain in the ass of your life. It's you try responding to 2,000 or 3,000 comments. Try it one time.
It's like
You'll be like, what is this?
It's like a job.
It's a job, and it's anxiety riddled. For me, I'm like, I better answer and I better do it quick. Like I get all caught up in it. So, but having wait lists and doing it, like a MailChimp or something like that you can get quick landing pages up, your best friend, because at least you have, like Dion said, at least you have a place you can push them. So, because you don't want to lose the momentum.
That's a gem. That's a gem right there. That's exactly what people should do. People don't. They're thinking more. Most people that they never had a viral video. They don't know how that's gonna go. But
Yeah.
hey, it's not far fetched to get a viral video. It's
not.
Happen. It can happen. But
yeah.
What are you gonna do after?
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, so what are you doing right now? We haven't talked about this. So what do you have? What do you have going on? Do you have anything built for people? Do you just funnel people towards a PDF? What do you have?
I funnel people to my stand store now, and what I'm doing now is I'm building out a community on the Mighty Networks actually.
Okay.
And I'm actually doing that as we speak right now. So what I've been doing lately, I already have email list built out from my stand store that I've already had people, like I said, funneling in. I go live. I funnel people in that too. I go live. I have on my stand store you can get. I have a PDF you can get and everything. It's certain things you can get, like free stuff that you can get. Once again, what's that doing? Emails.
Yeah.
Like the emails.
Yep.
And from there, I'm inviting people into my community.
Yeah.
So I'm building a community right now on my network. So that's going to be up, and that's what's going on. I've been doing a lot of one-on-one coachings.
Yep.
Audits and stuff like that.
Yep.
But we're gonna go further with it now.
No, I think that's fantastic. Yeah, that's one thing social also has, because I'm the first person to say, I already said I hate social media, but I'm the 80-year-old that have, I missed every train there was for social, right? I waited 3 years too long for Instagram and I'm still struggling, right? Like TikTok, I waited forever, it took me, so I never thought it was going to happen. But realizing that, it is a massive asset if you put something into it, but knowing what to do with it after, because just being ready, because you're right, you don't know what's going to go. You don't know what's going to go viral, staying consistent on it. And I listen to Gary Vee. I listen to Gary Vee every once. Do you listen to Gary Vee? Do you know who he is?
Yes, most definitely. Most definitely.
So cool, good. But listening to him, and this is where companies should be starting now. Social media is where it's like the most untapped. People want to pay millions of dollars for a television spot that nobody's watching anymore, but then they won't go and figure out the either algorithms or just what people are doing on social media. So it's just such an untapped thing still, but it's one of the most prevalent things in society. So bizarre.
That's the thing. Content creation is a business. Okay?
It is.
If you look at it as a business, you would be better off. I'm always going to say that. If you look at it as a business, you'll be better off. It's something you can actually set up and actually grow from it. That's what content creation is about.
Yep.
You're gonna curate to that audience, and then eventually you're just gonna have people that want to be sold to. That's just what it is. Okay?
Yeah.
You have that audience. You curate to that audience. Boom. You're gonna go from there instead of just treating it like some one-off thing.
Yep.
Don't do one-off stuff.
Yeah. You have to nurture. You have to nurture your own social presence. It's just. You have to continue to be part of it. And actually, you mentioned about going live. I wanted to bring this up, and I've said this before, that a lot of companies and a lot of creatives, not so much creators, because they're the ones that are in and doing it, but they're not actually involved with social. Like they post and leave. Like I put it up and I'm done. And they're not. Yeah, they're not
Can't do
active
that.
on the platforms. They're not going live where able. They're just not involved.
They're not, and I like how you go live too. You know, like you're very, you get very in depth with your audience. You know what I mean? If people will be up there, you ask questions, you follow up with the questions. You already, you're engaging with your
I'm in
audience.
it. Yeah.
That's how you should do, because that's people love conversation, man. People love it.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing that, then really, are you a real person? So
Like,
it's
what do
like
you,
that's
yeah.
how we're looking at you. Like, it's like, oh, you're just a business, we should ourselves.
Just trying
No,
to get money. Yeah.
trying to get money. I don't want to do that. We're past that.
Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, I I never thought I'd want to go live. It took me forever to get to 1,000 followers until I got to February, right? It was like, it was pulling teeth for me to get anywhere. So I gave up and then came back about 6 months later, and that's when everything kind of tipped off. But going live, people get so hung up about it and they get so nervous about going live. I mean, how do you feel about going live? Do you like it? I love it at this point,
I
but
love going live. I go live, and because with my lives, I have a strategy for it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm helping people.
okay.
I get on
Yeah.
there and I help people. I did
Yep.
before. I didn't have a strategy with my live, so that's what was like, throwing me off. I was like, hold up, what are we on? What am I on here doing? So I'm like, I'm just gonna answer questions and help people. Maybe check out your TikTok. Maybe I can give you some, ideas on how to, improve it and stuff like that. That's what I started doing. So that's what I get on live for now. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm a content director, so I know stuff about content. I know how to. I can look at your page and look at what are you trying to do with it. Okay, this is how you're gonna get it to where you can actually target this and actually get to something that can convert. Okay, that's my thing. That's my goal with the content overall. If you're just making content frivolously, I don't know what you're doing, because this is a business. TikTok is a business.
It is. It really is. So actually, that's really interesting because I think that's a great way to get people to understand. Like, going live with no purpose, I think, is one of the things that contributes to it being very anxiety riddled. Like, very, I can't do this because I don't know what I'm doing and I don't know what to talk about. So how do you go about your strategy? You said you ask questions. I noticed also you do like a green screen. Yeah.
Yes, I do a green screen. I have like bullet points up there where I can go over 5 steps from taking, from to be a better content creator, basically. That's what it is. And it's a guide that I'm actually putting on my stand start soon. But either way, it's 5 steps to become a better content creator. Or I
Yep.
get up there and talk about, how to make your content look better, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's what it is. I have a guide and I have something to go off of, to
Yep.
read off of. Okay, look, these are the points people are asking about it. Hey, asking me any questions about it. Hey, do you want me to check a content out? You want to audit? Okay, we can go from there. And then usually what happens is they'll get on there, they'll want to audit. Everybody has done. If you're a content
Always.
creator, they always want to audit. So they'll go
Best
on
lead
there.
gen ever. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. And then what they'll do is they'll go and then they'll get the audit, or they'll go. Like I said, I just get on there. I'll just give you an audit, and then
Sure.
after
Yeah.
that they'll go from there. Boom. What happens? Got your email. I go from there, and then usually we can get on the call from there.
Yeah.
That's usually how it goes.
Yeah. Actually, you brought up something really great. So I love that live. I think that's great. Having a strategy is number one. When I get on, I have one, but I don't. I had somebody the other day, they were like, wow, you're really squirrely. And I was like, apparently it's working for me because I'll just get on and talk. Like, my big thing is just acting like I already have 100 or thousands of people watching me. Like, that's just my mindset. I don't care if it's 3 people or 0. I will show up the same way. But you brought up a really interesting point that what you're doing in your lives, and I think this is something that transcends across content in general, that you're cross-using, that what you're doing in a live is becoming a PDF. Everything, the things that I do in my other content, whether I iterate on it again in the same platform, or I'll take 5 of them and they'll become a PDF or whatever, right? It's like getting the content to work for you in other ways, which I think people miss a lot.
Exactly. Because I'm not big. I'm not big on one-off things. I'm big
Yep.
on, like I said, curating to the audience.
Yep.
So it's more so, okay, cool. I might move out of the way, and somebody be like, I want to screenshot that. I'm like, no. You're gonna actually get it. You can just go to go to the link and get it if you want
Yeah.
to. If you want it.
Yeah.
But also they could be like a lead magnet. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. But it's always something that I'm nurturing, and that type of stuff is in the community as well. We're always
Yep.
nurturing it. So that's the thing. That's what we're going for.
Yep.
The thing is so it's mainly is people are going to ask their questions. It's always something that it's about actually targeting what people need. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm doing. So I feel
And
like that's what we're
do you
going.
Do you feel like you figured that out just based on your audience telling you what they needed? Or do you feel like you've had, like, how has that evolved with your content from that kind of first point of kicking off with TikTok? I don't know how you've been on other platforms, but, you know, after kind of the audience said, hey, we want more of this, is that just, you've just kind of built on that? Or was there like another preconceived, like, hey, something that came in? Do you understand what I'm asking?
Exactly. I get it from like basically analysis, right?
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
data analysis. I
Yeah.
have a set, probably about 10 things that people ask the same thing, a few things over and over and over. And so what I've done is, it might sound crazy, but what I've done is I've took those maybe like 5 to 10 things and started making more content around them.
Yep.
And what happens with that is the same question gets getting asked. So I've noticed that at least 5 to 10 questions are always asked. How do you get better lighting? How do I get this to look better right here? How do I find my niche?
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
Yep.
These are always questions, you know.
And
how
are
do
they,
I edit like this?
do you think
how do I get more engagement?
Yeah. I mean, do they normally come out of lives, or do they normally come out of comments, or is it a mixture of both?
It's a mixture of both. Of both. Lives are usually, how do I get more engagement and what am I doing wrong?
Yep.
And on the post is more so like, how do I get this to look better? How do you get that quality to look like that? And what are you doing? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, how are you doing that with a phone and stuff like that? So it's curiosity on different,
Sure,
spectrums kind of, but the people that they look at as a business, they're wondering how they can grow, right? They want to accelerate the business. The people that are looking at it that haven't gotten to the business side of it, they're looking at it from a vanity side still. So they're still looking like, how do you get it to look that good? You know, I want to just look better. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm appealing to both of those either way, so it doesn't matter. Because looking better is actually gonna drive people to look at your content.
Yeah.
Actually, so I mean, I don't know. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I say that you should be doing. I'm appealing to both audiences. It doesn't really matter. It's one and the same with me, because the thing is, you still should look at it as a business regardless. Why are you trying to make it look better? Just for the vanity, or you want to make it look better so you can appeal to different brands or to your audience better?
Yeah, exactly. I think just that whole piece of this conversation in general, people do not police their own shit enough. Like, they're not paying attention. And I think it's a massive, for any company, you know, regardless of like content creator or creative or solopreneur or anybody, but even major companies, it's like the best think tank. It's the best like automatic audience response to anything. And it's real.
Use it to your
advantage.
Real.
Yeah. So it's not this forced thing. It's not like sending out a survey that already has some sort of like bias to it, or you have to give them an Amazon gift card to get them to do anything. People will give you their opinion for free. Their real honest opinion. Because you know what? The fact that everybody can hide behind their phones can be a massive benefit if you just let them.
Exactly. You know, people just give unsolicited opinions all the time, and it's that's what I want to touch on as far as going viral. A lot of people don't understand going viral. You're gonna get more people that don't like you than do, right? You always get those people too. It's great. There's a lot of people. You probably get a lot of haters. Like, that's just the way it is. But hey, I love it. But what it comes down to is like, it's always those people that like, why you can't do it like this, or why didn't you do this? It's like, but you're not doing it. Yeah. You know, behind like a fake profile, a burner account or something.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, you know what? I've said this before. Negative commentary is the best currency on social media. The best. Eat it up. Ask them questions. I'm a real ass about it. I'm like, could you expand on that more? I'm like, I don't really I'll play stupid. I'm not sure I understand what you're trying to say. Could you tell me? Could you explain further? I'm just driving my engagement. What do you want? Because the minute that you say to them, thanks for keeping my engagement up, that's the minute their crickets start. Like, no more. I love it. So anybody that's worried about negative commentary, as long as it's not hitting your psyche in a way that you can't live, because I've watched people do that too, where it really tears them down, it really gets to them. Right. But if you can let it just ride for the content's sake, it become the best thing for you. Because you're right, it's behind these no face profiles. It's behind user 547962.
It's always them. Who are you? You're not even a real person.
Some angry person. They're just angry, you know, or they'll get in honestly, the lives are where it becomes the biggest problem, because it's distracting.
Yeah,
Sometimes I'll respond, and other times I'm like, okay, you just got to get out of
you
here
got to get
because,
blocked. You know, a lot
yeah,
of times in those lives, yeah, because I've noticed, especially with TikTok, they'll people like that'll be trying to get your live banned, or they'll be like flagging your live, doing
yep,
weird stuff. So I have to get them out of there.
yep, 100%. So do you have any I don't know how your lives go, but do you have any plans for moderators eventually, or
Yeah,
is
I have
that
a
something you need
moderator.
now? You do now?
I have one mod right now, and she's also modding on the Mighty Network on the community that we're building out right now.
Okay.
So she's helping me out with that, and she's great. So it's actually great because like we get a few different perspectives on people's content. Like I said, it'd be me and it'd be her, and like she comes up with ideas like that. So like
Yeah.
she's great. I love it. It's
Oh, I love
amazing.
that. Yeah, I don't have a moderator at this point. I'm sitting there going, actually, my husband ends up being my moderator because he'll be in there sometimes and he won't do anything, but he'll tell me like, hey, they're like starts because they'll ask questions and I'm like, I don't know what they're even trying to say or do or whatever. And he's, by the way, you should probably get them out of there
Yeah, but
because
that's
I'm
the
totally
thing.
not even, I'm not paying attention. I'm not trying to have
Yeah,
a good
right.
time.
You'll lose track of it when you're in the live.
Yep. Yep.
It's going so fast. So that's why I'm like, I had to get a mod. I was like, would you mind modding for me? She was like, I would love to. I'm like, great, because I mean, like, there is stuff that I'm not paying attention to.
Yep.
Literally. Did you answer that question? I don't know. And she'll be responding to it like she's really quick with it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I missed that like 20 seconds ago, 30
Yep.
seconds ago.
It does. Well, that's just lives in general. I think super important for people. Anybody that's trying to grow on TikTok. Listen, I'm not by any means any sort of an expert. I just know that what has worked for me. And if you can go live, to me, it's the key. Like anytime, and I've said this with so many brands in general, it's when you can get in front of people. It's when people can see your actual personality. A picture only goes so far. A video only goes so far. It's still curated. When people can see who you are, really, that's when they really buy in. So I think it's the key to it.
That's when they buy in. If you want, like, if you talk, like you said, with the whole selling thing, I mean, that's the sell. Like I said, building that relationship.
It is.
It's a sense of community when the person is seeing you on a live and they see you regularly. They're like, this guy knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. And honestly, it's the best feeling too. I love seeing the same people. Actually, so that's how you and I even really started talk, because you started showing up and you said you were like, hey, let's get him to 10,000 likes on a live. And I was like, what's going, you don't even know me. And I was just, I don't know, totally flattered and totally, that's when the community, I think, when people start to show up regularly and you don't know them, but you see them regularly, You can start to feel it. And the idea of community isn't such a far-fetched thing, or it felt really stupid initially to me, if I'm being really honest. Like, community, whatever, people, because society is so separate and, disparate now. But when it actually happens, I don't know, it hits differently. It really does. Like, it's crazy when people start showing up regularly and you're like, hey, I've seen you in here multiple times in my comments or wherever. I don't know. It feels really good. So
it's really good. It's a great feeling. I remember that live, you were like, it'd be crazy if I got 10,000 likes. I never had that many likes. I'm like, I bet we can do it.
Yeah. I mean, you've taught me stuff just on that, you're like, oh, by the way, after 10,000 likes, it pushes you further. I'm like, well, let's feed that machine, because
right.
why else are we doing
That's
this?
What you're doing it for, right?
Yeah.
Let's get it out there.
Honestly, I started being real honest with people too. I'm like, yeah, we're doing likes because I love being on here, but at the same time, it's similar to like, why do you go to work? For money. I love connecting with people, but at the same time, I need, like some reciprocity from something. And if it means feeding the algorithm with some little thumb taps, I'm going to ask for it.
Just ask for it. And
yes.
I used to be so like weird about it. I'm just like,
yeah.
I was like, you know what? Forget. I'm getting past that, because why am I doing this?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I did a video on that where people have to ask, and I kind of translated it further, but people have to ask for things, especially if you're creative or a content creator or whatever.
True.
You have to tell people what you want or need. You have to ask for it. It's their how do I want to say it? It's their option to say no. Like, they don't have to. You can't force anybody over the airwaves. But if you don't say anything, people aren't triggered. They don't know. I'll sit in 3-hour lives and forget because I'm so enthralled with whatever's going on. It doesn't mean I'm not interested in helping them.
No, you're absolutely right.
You're
absolutely right. People, they don't think about that, because you got to ask what. I'm also like, I think somebody was asking me. They were like, they're talking about like a negotiation and like for some kind of deal they were trying to do, and they were like, it could have been, I don't know, the highest number was this, and the lowest number they were talking about was this, and they're like, what do you think I should do? I'm like, ask for the highest number.
Yeah.
Because what the worst they can say is no.
And give yourself some place to negotiate from.
That's
Like
how
go
I
in
like.
the
I'm like,
lowest,
go
and
for the top one, okay?
yes,
Because why not?
yeah,
Why not?
yeah. I feel, unfortunately, I think a lot of content creators, which is I think the majority of what we're talking about right now. If we're
Yes,
talking about brands and companies or whatever, they
yes,
don't really care. But the same way with creatives, like we're so connected to the work, like they're content creators because they love doing it or whatever, right? And then we're so afraid to charge. I talk about this a lot. We're so afraid to charge because we're so connected to the work, and you have to get over that. You have to get past that point, because just a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant or any other profession is offering you something that you can't do, and you're paying them the same thing, vice versa. You have to treat yourself as that asset.
you're shooting yourself in the foot. You know what I mean? Like when it comes
Yep.
down to, you're the one. You a lot of people, hold themselves back.
Yeah.
One of my clients, she was talking about how she went to an event over the weekend, and she was trying to sell whatever product she had for X amount. And I told her, sell it for that amount.
Yeah.
Don't go lower than that. And then she
Yeah.
went lower. She was like, I got scared, because
Yeah.
you know, I I got scared, and then she came into my live. So crazy. I guess she came into the live. The people that went to this event, I said, would y'all have paid this much for it? Like the amount that she originally wanted to charge, they were like,
Yeah.
yeah, I would have gladly paid that. I'm like, see,
It's all fear-based. It really is. And the fear is such a double-edged sword too, because I feel like you do need it to some level. I think it keeps people humble and keeps, fear is a good thing, and there's a reason that it's there, but at the same time, like allowing it to, get in the way of just business acumen, period. Keeping your mouth shut, charging what you want to charge, like basics, it can kind of wreak havoc.
you gotta set the price and live your life. That's just what it goes. You have to set the
Really,
price.
you have to be comfortable with people saying no. You have to get to that point of, people saying no to things.
Right.
I was going to ask you, and I mentioned this before, about making money from content and just what that's been like for you, how you've kind of, because that wasn't your first focus, right? You weren't always making money with content. What that's been like for you, anything you can tell anybody that's trying to make money either as a side hustle, because I've had stuff come up for me that it's just been little things, but I'm like, oh, I never even thought that this was a thing that somebody would want to pay me to create content for them. So anything you can
If you're
kind
on
of
TikTok,
dispel for
if you're on
people?
TikTok or any social media, make sure you have your email in your bio. That's the first thing. You just need to have that up there. Okay. This is just this is like this is social media 101. Have your email in your bio so people can contact you. You never know what someone will contact you with
You don't.
these brand deals. Okay. Set yourself up as a business. Okay. Look at it like that. That's the first thing you should do. Also, just make sure you're not, make sure you're targeting a certain niche. If you target a niche, then it has to be something you are knowledgeable
Sure.
about, right?
Yeah.
Don't just give out just random information. But I say do that, right? Once you do that, you're gonna have something within this niche, or maybe something around it. Somebody's gonna reach out to you.
Yeah.
Right. Also, just analyze your content, see what you can improve on. Once you do that, make sure you target whatever audience you are targeting. Make sure you have at least 2 to 3 topics that you always go to, your go-to topics, right? Those will be your
Yep.
content pillars within your
Yep.
within your niche. Just do that. Do that,
Yep.
and then you circulate that. Yeah, you're gonna have someone reach out to you, and then that's when you monetize it. Okay.
Yep.
All right, but from that, if you don't want to do that, you're gonna have to have something to sell. That's just what it is. You're gonna
Yep.
you're gonna have to have something to sell. People are always looking at like views and all this stuff. These content creator, what was it called? The creator fund and everything. No.
Oh yeah.
That's not.
Oh, it's nothing.
It's pennies on the dollar, right? You're not.
Yeah, it really is.
So set yourself up something that like places like TikTok or whatever, they're gonna take 50% of whatever you're doing anyway.
Oh yeah.
Gifts and all that stuff. So there's no point. You're not
Yep.
getting anything with that. Set yourself up with something that's sustainable that you can actually do. All right. So
Yep.
monetizing your content just comes down to finding your niche, doing stuff within the content pillars on your niche. Right.
Yep.
Sticking to that, circulating it, but sticking to it, and having that email in your bio.
Yeah. I mean, that is really basic. I don't even have. I have ways people can work with me, but I don't have my email in there. Maybe that's probably something I should be doing. Mine points to a wait list right now, but that's fantastic.
People have the attention span of like a goldfish, right?
Yes, you're right. They're very flippant. Yep.
How do you think that some people not even gonna click on that link, but they'll see it on that page if they
Yep.
see your bio?
You're right. Yeah, you're right. Look at that. call him a content director for nothing like that. So I had a question while you brought this up. So how would you, we talked about, your audience finding you kind of just, that's how it organically happened for me, and the niche kind of coming out of that. How would you say people go about finding their niche? Because I've also seen a lot of content creators who are like, you don't need a niche, just kind of that conversation. How do you feel about that?
Okay, so
We're gonna unpack it here.
I feel like the whole I am the niche thing. It's not. I'm not saying it's a problem, right?
Yeah.
But within that same sense, what are you doing then? That's how I look at it. If you don't have anything that someone goes to you for, then I'm not saying you can't be a jack of all trades. I'm not saying that. But the thing is, it's like you have to master something for you to be a jack of all trades. You know what I mean? You can go into other stuff. So if you are a person that, you don't have a niche, well, you have to sub niche stuff that you are interested in, or that that you like, that you do or whatever, into your niche, right? So I'm the niche, but so let's say I'm into fitness or I'm into cooking and stuff like that. You have to have you still have to have content pillars.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. You still have to have content pillars within this niche. You might be the niche. Okay, cool. What do you do within this niche though? Who are you? You know what I mean? Like, what are you interested in? It comes down to your personality then. It's just going to break down like that. But most of these people a lot of people that say they're the niche, they don't have a personality.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
They don't even talk in their content. No one gets to know them. So it's like, you're not the niche. You're just trying to act like it's something else. Like, you're just trying to make, lazy content. And that's fine, but no, that's not it. That's just not it. What you have to do is have content pillars within this niche. I'm not saying you have. I've seen people blow up like this. One girl, she's the niche. She is the niche. But all she does, she goes around like she does get ready with me. She goes, out. It's a lot of, basically it's like getting ready with me and, hair and beauty and stuff like that. Simple stuff like that. But those are her content pillars, right?
Yeah.
Her content pillar is beauty, hair, skin, and stuff like that. She's doing something and she's giving you stories and stuff like that. Cool. She has a good personality. If you're not doing that, then you can't say I'm the niche.
Yeah, that's true. So if people that are not the niche, how would you say about people going to find their niche or figuring that out? Do you have any insight on that?
You need to be knowledgeable about it. You need to know something about it. You don't have to be an expert, but it's kind of like a lot of people try to be teachers, right? But all teachers aren't experts. So you don't have to be an expert to teach.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
You don't have to be an expert to teach. But in order to become an expert, you have to start, So
you do.
And you might know something more than someone, that doesn't know it. You know what I mean? It was this guy. He was talking about how he wasn't an expert, but he knows about golf. I'm like, you know way more about golf than I do.
I'm pretty sure that's actually the lowest definition of expert, is knowing more about something than somebody else.
Right. Exactly. It has to be something like that.
Yeah, it is.
My thing is, you know what? You know enough to teach it. So if you can
teach somebody else,
if you can teach it, then you know enough. And teach it correctly. So what I'm trying to say is basically, if you know how, if you can actually teach it and have some value in it and know how to actually show someone how to do it, then that's the niche you should be going for. It should be something you do in your everyday. You should already be doing it.
Yeah, or something you're already, because actually that brings up a fantastic point. I don't know everything. I'm still learning all the time, but one of the interesting thing is when you start to teach it, it forces you to learn it more. So I'm constantly, somebody asked me about a case study the other day. I'm not well versed in case studies, but you better believe I learned a shit ton recently, because I just, you're forced to look at it.
I love case studies. That's how, that's how you get a lot of research and, development done. You actually, you're able to, analyze what you did and bring it to the forefront and be like, hey, we did X, Y, and Z. This is how we did it. And boom, that's it. You have the data there. Boom, that's it. That's a case study. I look at it, but most definitely, most people don't know that part. They're lost in, I don't really know how to, I don't know this. But it's focus on what you do know. Don't focus on what you don't know.
So
and that's how you define your niche. Define your niche by it being something you're interested in, and you can actually show someone how to do it. That's good. If you don't know how to do it,
that's fantastic. That's great. Yeah,
it's simple.
It is.
It should be simple, and also it should be something that's that's relevant too. I mean, it can't be something that's not relevant.
Yeah. Well, we overcomplicate watching other people. Again, it's back to imposter syndrome, back to everything else. We overcomplicate just social media in general, when in reality, it's a lot more simple than. And it took me forever to realize that, because what you do is spend all this time making it complicated and then banging your head against a wall, and it doesn't do anything. And the minute you just let go, the minute you just do what you want to do, and then pay attention to what's happening, it just becomes so much easier at the end of the day. It really does.
You have to simplify. You have to simplify. Yes. We overcomplicate, like you just said. You overcomplicate it. It gets from this to like this. You're like, oh my god, it's like a cloud around your head.
Pressure,
After that, it's let me start, breaking this apart and like breaking it down, and it comes down to, okay, cool. I need to just focus on these types of content and just go into this. Hey, simple is better. It's just gonna work out like that.
Yep, it is. Yep. I wanted to ask you too, since we're talking about you do audits and everything, is there anything you can tell everybody? I was going to actually tell you to audit my stuff while we're on here, but if you can give just people some high level, like what they should be looking at over their own content, even maybe self-audit.
Yeah, most definitely. What you're going to do, the first thing you're going to do is make sure with your content, you're going to make sure, like I said, if you don't have your content pillars, have that set up.
Yep.
Okay, that's going to be whatever your niche is. Let's just break it down like this. If your niche is, if you're, you do hairstyling, I don't know, hair. Let's say hair. Okay, or beauty. That's what it's gonna be. Your niche is beauty.
Okay.
Your niche is beauty. What are the 3 things you're gonna talk about within this beauty? Are you gonna talk about hair? Are you gonna talk about skin? Okay. Are you talking about just health and wellness overall? What are we talking about? Okay. What are you educating people on? What type of products to use? Because if you think about that, that's what's gonna make you appeal to brands. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to appeal to brands? Are you trying to get a brand deal, or are you trying to sell products of your own? Do you have a company that you're actually selling these products, or do you just want to do reviews?
Yep.
Well, if you're doing reviews, then that goes kind of into UGC content or whatever. Okay, that's a whole other thing. But what I'm trying to say is this: look at what you're doing with your content. With yours, Erik. I love what you're doing.
We're going to get into it?
I love what you're doing. I actually like what you do. Because I know I see what you're doing. So what you
well, maybe you could tell me that.
So what you do, you put out content with valuable information in it. Then the next piece of content you'll have is something that's fun. You know what I mean? Just funny. Like you might have a sound and something like that, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny. I love it because I already know. I look at I'm going to analyze your page.
Yeah, do it.
And I'm like, oh, I see his method, right? And it works, right? But my thing is more so I look at it like with the trending sounds, and sometimes those work, but a lot of times, what I want to see from you is do one of those without a trending sound and it be you.
Oh yeah, you mean really put myself out there? I'm very, first of all, I do the trending sounds. It is strategy. That is my strategy. I know. It's on purpose, I think that's important for people to know, is that, it's not just people look at TikTok, especially. I think that's been the focus of our conversation, because TikTok is really king at this point, I think. But it's, people think of it as, oh, it's just funny or it's just whatever. But the way I look at trending sounds is, if it doesn't fit if I'm not getting an immediate spark of an idea, I'm not doing it. I'm not trying to force it. I'm doing it because I want to do it and I think it's funny. Like, it's still for me. And
you always curate it to what? Your niche.
Yeah, to my niche. It's always, does this fit with what I'm talking about? And am I going to have a good, because I did drag for a while, so I love lip syncing. I'm totally cool with that. Let's seriously. So, cool. So it's fine. I'm, all about it. But yeah, so humor to me, though, is so subjective. So the last thing I ever wanted to do was like create my own something and it'd be like, wah, wah. So, but if that's me leveling up, I might need to level up.
Out there. I feel like it'd be cool.
Yeah, you're right.
I feel like it'd be cool. That's what I'm like. He does the trending sound. It's cool. But I'm like, I wonder if you ever do it with one of his pieces of content. You have one that you like, then you'll have one that you actually like have to, reference sometimes, and you can put different stuff on it. Yeah.
No, I get you. I've had a couple of ideas, and I think one of my biggest things that holds me back is that I run a real fine line between salty and angry. And the minute that I toe the line, it's not, because I did it one time where I got too angry on a rant and it didn't do real well. People are
I've
like,
done that
oh,
before too. I've done that
that's
before
too
too.
far. Yeah. So I think I'm like, but I'll totally take that because you're right. I haven't touched on that and I probably should, but
Now,
yeah,
what was
I'm
the
down
other
with that.
piece of advice I gave you that one time? Like you did something that was a piece of content. Because, like I said, I mean, like for us as creatives,
Yes.
you know, it seems like repetition, but I mean, people, you're gonna appeal to different people, more people. You know what I mean? A lot of people
Yes.
haven't seen that video, and that's how it goes. And just get back in that algorithm and get it going. I mean, hey,
Yeah.
that's what we're playing. That's the game we're playing, kind of. You know what I mean? If you want to get those eyes, sometimes you have to do what's favorable to the king. You know,
You're
that's what when it
100%
comes to
right.
TikTok, you know, you have to do what they have to do. Sometimes you just have to do that, right?
Yeah.
But
I'm glad you brought that up. Say what happened. You tell it. You
okay, so I don't
tell
know
them
if
what you did.
I don't know if you were on. I think we had a call or something. Maybe we were on a live. I don't know, something like that. And I
It
was
was on
like,
a live and I was like, my views, what happened to my views? They like tanked. Like I'm like, what's happening? I'm
everybody's
like, did
views
I
at
lose
that
it?
point. A lot of people's views were tanking or whatever. But I was
Yeah.
like, dude, that one video that you had, the first video I saw, I'm like, double down on it, but just do another one. Do the same video, but take that same method, right? Take
Hey.
the same method, the same setup, and just do it with a little bit more information into it.
Yeah.
And what happened?
And it literally did way better. So my first video they were both on creative contracts. First one was the top 5 things you were missing in your creative contract. Initially it got about 400,000 views, which came out of nowhere because I was like, this is a long video. I didn't expect it to do anything. And over about 2 months, it hit about 600,000 views, excuse me.
Wow.
And then the one you told me to do, which we forget because you can repeat that your audience it's not linear. Like,
No.
not everybody, and at that point, like from that video, I jumped 9,000 followers from that video initially. So all the people that I had gained since, they didn't, you know what I mean? Like it's not fresh in their brains or whatever. But when you told me to do that, I was like, okay, so I shortened it down to the top 3 and I pulled it from some of the other video series that I did. And it got to 600,000 views in less than a month.
See?
And jumped me another 6,000 or 7,000 people off of the exact same content. And it had to be pointed out. So thank you. I appreciate that because that's what really gave me, it's a huge push because what it does, other things follow in waves then because you have all new followers. The videos that are surrounding it, like that bookend, probably, I'm going to guess like 7 videos before and probably around 7 or 8 after. Like those are usually like swept up in the momentum of that video.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yep.
So it just drives them to go some more content.
Yep. Yeah. So it was, yeah. So, thank you for that. And this is why you need a content director. You need to listen. Actually, honestly, if you suck at content, you need to find somebody else that doesn't. Like, because what happens is I'm sure you see this with clients, their brain eventually starts to pick up what it actually is, but you can only figure it out through doing it, right? I'm sure the most successful clients that don't end up being successful, that's another thing. But successful clients somehow pick it up. Like it's a different brain thing that happens. Am I right?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Like with successful clients, those are the ones that are going to do the work. You know what I mean? Those are the ones that are actually going to get out here and actually do it. Not the people that are just complaining about, oh, I'm not getting this and the third. Take some action on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, you see, they get it and they're like, you know what? Wow, that actually did work because I actually took your advice.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're gonna hire somebody, please listen to them. I'm talking about in any form, content creator or coach. Anybody, please just listen.
Eric,
Don't waste your money.
I know you know how that goes. Oh my god.
Don't hire somebody and waste your money. Just don't pay attention. Listen, for real. Listen, you go to my content. Probably go to yours at this point because I feel like you're bleeding into a little bit of ranty, which is good. I love to see that. I love
the rants are funny, man. The rants are funny, right? Like I kind of got a little bit more of that from you too. You be ranting a lot, I like the rants.
I mean, it's the whole grinds my gears deal. I'm like, why is nobody talking about this? Because I know you all feel it. I know you're all thinking it.
And it's real, right? It's
it's
authentic. It's like how I'm coming off. I'm not even coming off like that. This is actually how I'm feeling.
It's just, I don't know. I do, like I said, I try to keep myself in line a little bit where I'm like, because I don't really want to offend any, I don't want to make anybody feel bad. It's just, this is what the reality of it is. So why are we all sitting around complaining about it? Let's get it out there and figure it out. I don't understand. So anyways, I want to ask you one more thing before we hop off here. Number one piece of advice you'd give anybody creating content. Can be something you said already or not. Just number one thing comes to mind.
Oh, man, this one ruffles people's feathers because they know it's something that you should already know, right? Be yourself.
Oh. Yeah.
Be yourself in your content. That's what's going to separate you from anyone else.
Yep.
You know, I can be doing this same kind of content. I can be giving you similar information as someone else. You're not going to take it from that person if you know that, you know, you like the way I deliver it and how I'm, you know, that's what's going to
Yeah.
separate you. Same thing with Erik. The same thing
Yep.
with Erik. You know,
Yep.
somebody can give, in which we give you a lot of valuable information in our content too.
For real. If you ever got anything else from this conversation, it's the fact that if you go follow us, we're going to cut out all the bullshit.
That's the thing. That's a fact.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I just say be yourself. Like when I, like I said, when I first saw Erik's content, I was like, you know what, this guy, he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Instant follow, you know. And that's the thing. So, and that's because I'm like, that's really how he is. This is how he really is. And you can just tell. You can just get through the nonsense. So, my best piece of, you know, advice is gonna be to be yourself in your content. Be yourself.
I think that's fantastic. I love that. I mean, I think that's always the key. That's just what it is. So I think I'm glad you landed on that. I do want to ask and let you tell everybody where they can find you online, on social. What are your handles? Where can we?
I'm Dion 5times. That's Dion 5, the letter 5. You know, not the word 5. Sorry, FIVE times on all socials. So I'm trying to be more active on Instagram.
I saw that.
I'm sorry. I never. I mean, for clients, I've done it plenty of times, but for my personal, it's different.
Yeah.
But Instagram, obviously, TikTok. If you want to actually, you know, engage with me, go to TikTok. I'm going Threads now. That's the new thing, right?
It is.
That's the new thing. Starting to do more stuff on there, but yeah, all my YouTube as well. All of it.
What's your website?
My website is right now. My website is down.
Okay, we'll just you know what, we'll put the link up if you have a link for me by then.
Right.
We'll put it in.
If you want to get in touch, like I said, you can just go to
socials.
Go to the link. That's all my links. That's all my anything. Just go to that link because it's gonna be my stand, so you can get in contact with me there.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, we'll be looking forward to the community you're building. I'm gonna ask you to do one thing for me before we leave. Can you guess what it is?
What?
I gotta hear your tagline. I gotta hear it.
It is what it is. I'm out.
Thank you. This has been an awesome conversation. I love when you say that. Hopefully we can do it again. I really appreciate it. Okay.
Oh, we're most definitely gonna do it again, Erik. You know, like you need to do a live or something too. That'd be fun.
Yeah. No, we can get on that. Yeah, for sure. Okay, sweet. Thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and we'll do this again. All right.
I appreciate it, Erik.
Thanks.
I'm out.